Good evening, everybody.
Hello.
Is everyone all set for tonight's session?
Yup.
Peanut butter.
Indeed.
You know, the session where we investigate Lisa Hartley's murder.
It was a terrible, tragic accident. Let's all move on.
I concur. That's what my investigation came up with. I'm sure the executive officer concurs on that one as well.
I have no idea what she was messing with that plasma. But somehow, her death by sudden immolation and immediate disintegration somehow.
Somehow she died just like Chazine's did.
No.
Yep, we have a hollow recording of it all.
Okay, so when we last left off, you guys had successfully helped overthrow a government.
Shot Hartley in the back.
You have taken on a new passenger.
Bow chicka bow wow.
And when you guys got back to the Tempest, Che found out that Hudson's nose was broken by Lister.
Oh goody, I get to do the unfun part of the boss job. Yay! And to my best friend, too. Oh, snap.
So, Che, I take it you are going to be visiting Lister in the brig.
In a moment. Oh, shit. Okay. So Che has to do his due diligence on. So Che's sitting in his office. Has insisted upon privacy for a few hours. He's going to pull up records from the science department. Specifically Lister's lab, right?
Say that again?
He wants to pull up records and how to put this. I guess they'd be hollow recordings.
They would be video files.
Yes. And pull up some video files of specifically Lister's lab. He pulls up the report of when this went down.
Okay.
And he just kind of rewinds through the actual confrontation. And then he goes further back to investigate Lister's claim that Hudson actually did mess with her station.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a... Control and security. Actually, you know what? Not control and security. Insight and security.
Okie dokie. Do any of my talents apply?
Let me look.
such as computer expertise for delving into a database?
No, because you're not really investigating the database. You're watching a video file.
Okay. True success.
Which is what you needed. Okay, so about 20 minutes as you're rewinding through the event, you do see Lister just haul off and I won't say uppercut, but she did just flat out sucker punch her.
Well, there's the truth.
But it does because of your successes, it does look like Hudson said something to her that triggered her.
I see.
Because just before the punch happened, she usually had her annoyed look. And then it went to just rage.
Got it.
And then as you rewind further, about 20 minutes in, you do see that Lister had left her lab to, much to her report, she had gone to speak with Ensign Fulmer about one of their joint experiments. And Hudson came in, and you see her over by the experiment that Lister had been working on. You don't see what she does, but about 2 minutes after she leaves, all the plants started dying.
Started what? Sorry, you broke off.
Dying.
Ooh. Jay lets out a heavy sigh. Okay. This just became twice the work. Alright, after that he heads down to the brig.
Okay. So you get to the brig, you see Lister, she's still fuming, and she is pacing through the cell. Or, around the cell.
So, who's on duty in the brig right now?
Just for character interaction, I'll say Hartley's down there at the moment.
Lieutenant Hartley.
Yes.
Would you mind opening the cell? I need to speak with Lister.
Okay. I walk over to the cell.
Darby.
I open it.
Darby.
What's up?
You've seen Star Trek. You should know it's a force field, and you can lower it from the console that's right there.
Yeah. That's true. Sorry. My brain is still waking up. I go ahead and lower the force field.
Okay. Jay steps in. I assume there's somewhere to sit in the cell. We don't just make them stand.
There's a bed.
Sits on the end of the bed. Waits for the force field to come back up.
Oh, it goes up as soon as you step through.
Awesome. Shay steeples his hands in front of him. He takes a long, drawn breath. So, what's your side of the story?
My side of the story is that Hudson destroyed a project I've been working on for over a month. Something that I meticulously started just before we came into the Sabine Expanse.
And frustration in that is justified. I rolled back the video. I saw the consequences of her actions, and I'll deal with that in time. But Lister, this is the second time now you've had one of these incidents. And it puts me in a very difficult position. So Jimmy,
Okay.
remind me, when she punched out Chizzy, what was the punishment for that time?
Dave, do you remember what the punishment was?
I do not. I remember that they both received some form of reprimand and punishment.
Oh, I think it was just a reprimand.
Yeah, no. Me and Lister didn't spend any time in the cell or anything.
But then again, Lister didn't break any bone.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't think Lister received anything because I threw the first punch, so it was considered Lister defending herself.
Yeah.
I mean, ask you what the now Captain Moi is going to do as a punishment. I don't know. It hasn't been brought to my attention.
Yes, it has.
No, that's because, yeah, it's been brought to your attention. Chase is kind of attempting to deal with it.
While Che is down here talking with Lister, Honorvin let you know exactly what happened while you were gone.
Great.
But back to Lister. You know, she looks at you and says, "You're right. This is the second event in a year. The first one was self-defense, and I think that you would." And I think that you would know me better by now to know that I wouldn't just jump off the handle.
I do know you better than that, which is why I didn't come immediately down here, but did my own investigation. But there are channels for this sort of thing.
Yeah, channels. Channels. Let's talk about those channels, shall we? Those same channels are the reason why Hudson has filed 52 complaints since being aboard in a year.
And thanks to this incident, that also is going to be dealt with. It gives a rather perfect opportunity to address that.
It should have been addressed a long time ago.
Do you know what? Yeah, you're right. I should have addressed it a long time.
I'm not saying you. She was Luaren's problem at first.
Yes, but
And then it fell to Atan. And in that year, nothing was done. So she thinks that she's bulletproof. She came into my lab because she thought I stole something from her lab. I've never stepped foot in her lab. You know I barely like going to the science lab because it forces me to be with other people.
Lister, I'm not accusing you of anything, well, other than breaking Hudson's nose.
Well, she deserved that.
I don't believe that anyone deserves broken bones. Thank you.
Che, let me ask you something. Since we're such good, close friends, what if I just told you that you were a tabby cat? A mongrel? How would you react?
Deep breath.
At this point, Lister gets really close to you to like whisper in your ear and essentially says, I'm not very proud to admit this fact, and if you tell anybody, you'll have a broken nose too. I am not exactly proud of my Zindi heritage. Hudson attacked that.
Well, that explains that part of the story. And that sort of behavior is also unacceptable. I have to deal with this from all sides.
I understand.
And that is something. As I said, Hudson has been problematic in many ways, and this does give me a perfect opportunity to address that behavior. But I can't have this happen again.
Oh, it won't. It won't happen again. I'm moving my lab to Science Lab 2. I want to stay away from her as much as possible.
That will be approved. In the meantime, I need to probably seek the advice of the captain on what we need to do about this in the meantime. You're probably looking at a short suspension, since this is a second infraction.
And if that happens, I understand.
Very well.
Che, I don't hold this against you. I am a disciplinary problem. You should know this.
I know. This is just particularly hard.
Because you're my friend.
Yes. I value our friendship. I really do. But I can't have. I understand the want to aggression. I understand being pushed for what you are. Trust me. It wasn't easy back on the colony, and I understand it. My family was something of adjutants, outsiders, castes. I'm not sure the exact political term. So I do understand being at odds with one's heritage, but violence only radicalizes. It doesn't solve it. Anyway, I'm going to go and talk with the captain, and then I'm going to go deal with Hudson.
Che,
Yes,
can you apologize to the captain for me?
I will.
I look forward to hearing what's going to happen. And as soon as I'm out of the brig, I think we should play a game.
I'd enjoy that. Heaven knows I could use it.
Me too.
That last mission. That last away mission.
I heard that there was another Cation on board. Well, Theralar.
Yes, there is now.
Che's got a girlfriend.
No, I think we probably need to move past the fact that I just started a rebellion on her planet.
You never know, Che. That could be a fast way into her quarters.
Wink, wink. He blinks a few times. I'm not sure I understand that line of thinking, but I'll take.
Thanks for coming to talk to me, Che.
Hey, it's not.
And remember, if any of this gets beyond here, as much as a friend you are, I will break your nose. And you already know that I can do it. And she offers a smile.
It's taken.
She gonna castrate you.
With their bare hands, I'm sure. Anyway,
It is
so
time
yes.
to spay and or neuter the science officer.
Oh, gods. I knew the cat jokes. So, yes. I guess Che's going to head up to talk to Morale about that.
Okay.
Wait a minute, isn't there a standing order to have him declawed?
No.
Technically, he only has one hand with claws.
Still, he has been scratching up the furniture in the conference room.
You are not removing the first fingertip of each of my hands. I need those for fine motor manipulation.
Oh, hey, speaking of which, has anybody changed the litter box in the briefing room?
No. Gross. I like it absolutely filthy as a deterrent. Also gross.
I couldn't help myself. Sorry, Josh.
It's fine.
Well, as long as he's using Tidy Cat.
Okay, so Frank, after a little while, where do you want to be when Josh comes to see you? You can either be in your quarters, on the bridge, at the mess hall, pretty much anywhere on the ship.
Denobula.
That's not on the ship. As a matter of fact, it's quite far away.
He's down in the theme park.
No.
You can convert cargo bays 1 through 13 into a theme.
That would be great if there were 13 cargo bays throughout the entirety of the ship.
Okay, 1 through 4 then.
That'd be one hell of a roller coaster ride.
This mighty steel coaster goes at warp 1.
Oh, fuck.
Besides, you can do a theme park in the holiday. God.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, true. It's one of Hartley's favorite things.
The holodeck or the amusement park?
The amusement park program. That's why I've hacked it to put in a bunch of spooky clowns.
I'm in holodeck 2 with holo creations that all look just like me. There's about 5,000 of them.
Why?
So nobody can find me.
You realize it's really easy to find you.
Just walk through the holograms until eventually I bump into a real.
No, holodecks are solid because they're made of light and force fields.
Oh.
But no.
All you gotta do is say end program.
It's either that or take out a tricorder and find the one life sign.
No, I'm in my ready room.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're in your ready room. The innovator rings.
I choose to ignore it. No, I don't. Enter.
Chase steps in. Captain,
Lieutenant.
so I'm sure it's been brought to your attention at this moment that I've had a bit of a disciplinary issue down in my department. I came to ask your advice on something.
Oh, you mean Lister breaking Hudson's nose?
It's a little more complicated than that, but yes.
I'm sure Hudson deserved it.
Uh-oh. You're not going to get an unbiased opinion here. Remember, most of Hudson's complaints were against the captain.
This is partially true. I've done my investigation of the footage. I've spoke with both individuals. Read the reports. Hudson is not entirely blameless in this. She sabotaged it, or by either intent or by um, mishandling, sabotaged in a critical experiment of Lister's that she's been working on for the past month, which was the inciting incident of the violence. Frustration, mostly. There's also, of course, the rather problematic behavior of Hudson to, well, you've read the reports.
Oh, you're referring to the almost 100 and some odd complaints that she's made, most of which have been targeting me for
Yes.
false accusations.
I'm sorry. I just read your note behind Ensign Hudson because I was looking at all the rest of the stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
She has a little note there.
Human female xenozoologist, hypochondriac, and tin hat wearing nutbag.
That's Hudson.
Speaking with Lister, I have to take some of her complaints to heart. Hudson has made the channels that would normally be used to resolve these sort of frustrations before they escalated to literally and essentially a paper tiger.
In other words, Hudson's being antagonistic.
Yes.
So, what sparked this whole mess in the first place?
Largely, it was the destruction of the experiment.
I would say that sparked the whole breaking of the nose. What made Hudson break the experiment? People just don't go around doing that for sport unless they're truly a dick.
That's true. And I probably need to pursue that further.
What did Lister say?
Basically, Hudson sees herself as bulletproof.
No, actually,
She can get away with it.
I'm going to make an amendment here because you do know this. Lister did say that what started this was that Hudson accused Lister of going into her lab.
Right. Sorry. Forgot that. Shouldn't have, considering it was only like 5 minutes ago, but yeah. The inciting incident was that Hudson believes that Lister entered her lab. Lister states that she's never gone into anyone's lab but her own,
And Fulmer's.
and Fulmer's. Yeah, she's never gone into any lab other than her own and Fulmer's. Fulmer only to participate in their joint project. Considering her attitudes towards mingling with other crew, I'm inclined to believe this.
So supposedly, and I say supposedly in a very loose manner, Lister went into Hudson's lab, and then what? What is Hudson saying that Lister did in her lab? Walking into someone's lab is not grounds for going into somebody else's lab and destroying something. That's like me walking into your quarters, and then you come into my ready room and smash my computer. It's not grounds for it.
That's true.
That was not discussed.
That wasn't discussed. I'll have to roll back the footage further. See if there is any substance to Hudson's claims. But that's also kind of the problem. She makes so many false claims that it's hard to believe any claim that she makes.
Where's Hudson right now?
He taps his comm badge. Actually, would I know where she'd be right now?
You can ask the computer to locate where she's at.
Computer location of Ensign Hudson.
Hang on a second. Darby, are you expecting something? Okay. Sorry, somebody's at the door for Darby.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, we can continue.
So yeah, he asked the computer where the location of Ensign Hudson is.
Ensign Hudson is currently located in her quarters. Deck 7, Section 25. Beta.
Well, that answers that.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. 1. Remove Lister from the brig and put her and confine her to quarters. Unless she's on duty, she's in her quarters. The same goes for Hudson. They're both confined to quarters unless they are on duty shifts or we're actually in battle. 2. Investigate who went into Hudson's lab. I want to know.
Lister has also put forward a formal request to move her lab to science. Was it science based?
Science Lab 2.
Science Lab 2, in order to avoid any further complications with Hudson.
Actually, just so you know, that isn't something that Frank or Morale has to authorize, because it's your department.
Well, he's
I
giving
know.
her all the information.
Okay, I was just letting you know that it's well within your purview to do it yourself. But anyway,
Well, if you want to move her lab, that's fine, but do so after this investigation is concluded. I want to know who did what, but unless they're on duty, they're confined to quarters. Have Lister taken out of the brig. Effective immediately.
All right. Aye, Captain. It will be done.
all right. So
Thank you for your advice. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Thanks for your advice. And with that, yeah, he leaves.
Okay, so while all this is going on, Emily, after you patched up Hudson's nose
Uh-huh.
and got to hear a good 30 minutes to an hour of her bitching and complaining,
Of course.
uh, you freed her to go back to her quarters. At which point, what are you going to do?
I have nothing else to do with this. So
Oh, I also suppose that because since we kind of advanced a few hours, I guess you also conducted a physical on Potek.
okay. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Oh shit! A love triangle.
Bum, bum, bum. She's got some competition.
Hi, Dr. Nar. I had no idea you swung that way.
You know what? Is it really all that surprising that Dr. Nar loves the kitty?
And you guys gave me all kinds of hassle for having too many husbands.
That's because you're a
This-
whore.
This is not a marriage. This is a menage a trois.
And actually, we didn't give you shit for having a marriage. We gave you shit because in the entire season 0, you wanted to fuck everybody.
No, I didn't.
You flirted with Counselor Zoda.
She was just being friendly.
Basically,
Right.
everybody but me.
And me.
That Darby, that's because your characters are kind of hideous and ugly and deformed.
You made Lister enforce the personal space issue.
Oh, snap.
That was after the Q incident, and she was just happy to see somebody real that wasn't Q. And Lister just happened to be the first person.
Okay, let's also talk about Atan.
Yeah, but you were playing a Ton and you're sexy.
Oh fuck me.
And this is all on the YouTube. Hello, demonetization.
Wait, do we monetize these things?
No.
Okay, I was about to say, if we do, yeah, no, we're never gonna get monetized.
And for the record, Josh, my character just doesn't swing towards cats. That's all.
I know, you're not a furry.
Oh, snap.
She's just not into a fur pot.
Wow.
You know what? Let's do it. Let's get some romantic tension up in here.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on board with this. So, after the very professional physical, I don't know, maybe see what she's doing.
So you're conducting your physical, and you're like, so, how you
No.
doing?
After the physical. Jeez. I'm a professional.
I think you should go out on a date with me. If not, I'm not going to give you a clean bill of health.
She's a professional, right? She professionally sealed the medical bay just so nobody walked in while she was watching her change into that gown.
I know we're supposed to be going for romantic tension, but suddenly all I can think of Babylon 5 and the doctor who wanted everyone to eat nothing but...
But
What?
I have a meal plan for you. And the meal plan is salad. Everyone eats salad.
Okay, so after the physical, you're talking with Potek. So you're asking what she's doing after?
Yeah, when
Well,
she's free, that kind of thing, trying to see if she's, into it.
well, she notices that you and your purple assistant don't wear Starfleet uniforms. Is there a possibility that Potek she wants to know if there's a possibility she could get a job on the ship?
Hey, you get out of here real quick.
I couldn't answer that. You'd have to speak to the captain, and they'd probably have to clear it through Starfleet.
Hey, Emily,
We're here as exchange officers, so
just tell her you put in a good word for her. You know, you never know,
But-
might get you in the door.
Let me finish.
What's up?
I was gonna say I could put a good word in for you, but now I kind of don't want to because Frank told me. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, contrarian.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. So, and I could definitely put in a good word for you.
Oh, that would be wonderful. I am a very talented physician.
She's making that scene harder than pulling teeth.
Oh,
God
are you?
damn it.
That's quite interesting. I would definitely love to discuss your people's particular brand of medical techniques. I believe that would be quite interesting.
Would you like to grab dinner with me?
That sounds amazing. Yes, I would like that.
Well, then I will see you here in a few hours.
I can't wait.
And she leaves.
Suck it, Che.
I could just see Nara standing at the door, pointing up towards the bridge where she knows Che is. Suck it, suck it.
Chaser goes back upstairs. I feel someone is stepping on my groove. This disturbance in the kitty force must be right.
If
Pulls out a
cell phones were
lightsaber.
still part of this time stream and all of this type of future, it'd be more like Nara would be taking a selfie with her and then sending it to Che, going, ha ha.
So, how are you acting after she leaves?
Completely normal, of course.
So,
Grinning from ear to ear.
so,
Nope.
when you
reptilian like always.
when you turn around to head back to your office, you realize that Dathan is looking at you, and he has his head's kind of tilted, and he's got this curious look on his face.
Something you want to ask me?
Doctor, can I ask you a personal question?
I suppose you've earned one or two.
Are you into furries?
Do you have romantic interest in that doctor?
If you're not certain, then I don't think I can answer that.
Well, I know what I saw, and I know that I've read up on several mating rituals of species that aren't native to my dimension, but lots of things still confuse me. Do you?
Oh, very well. I do, yes, but it's the particular nature of the discussion may not, in fact, necessarily carry a romantic overtone.
Is your interest in the same gender, is it accepted by your species?
Considering the emphasis placed on family, it's not exactly the most popular thing, but we're not barbarians.
I see. Thank you for answering my question, Doctor.
Oh, you're welcome.
And he goes back to his work.
And I go back to mine.
What is Hartley doing during all of this? Because I know we left her in the brig, but did she go anywhere else? Is Darby even back?
I know he came back in, but I don't know if he's got a headset on or not, or if he's paying attention. Well, like you said, we left Hartley in the brig.
Darby, are you back?
Yes.
It's about fucking time. Anyway, during the time after you were in the brig, did you go anywhere else? Did you want to do anything else?
Am I still on duty?
No.
If I'm not on duty, I did do my personal allotted time in the holodeck because I've shortened it up a lot. So I'm spending some time in the holodeck, but nowhere near as long as I used to.
Okay.
And honestly, she's been experimenting with new hobbies.
Such as?
Well, I think the trick to get rid of addiction is distraction. So after she spends a little bit of time getting that adrenaline rush going, she tried. I'm gonna say she tried picking up reading, but that didn't do it for her. So she's been actually no, because the weight room would be in the holodeck, so she can't do that.
No, there's actually 2 gyms on the ship that are not related to the holodeck.
Okay, so she's been honestly, I'd say lately she's been going to the gym a bit and just working out, trying to keep her mind off the holodeck.
Okay. All right, so now back to Josh.
Okay.
Where are you going?
He's heading back to his office. Like I said, he's gonna roll back some footage of now Hudson's lab and see if it's been at all tampered with while he was away on the away mission.
Okay, so give me another insight and security roll.
Please, dice, don't screw me. One success.
Okay, so you didn't meet the 2. Um, so as you are rewinding, or as you start from the time period that Hudson's report said that Lister had been in her lab, um, you as you're watching it, you see Hudson come in. She's feeding some of the animals that are in there, and one of the pieces of equipment that one of the things that or she's using a device to scan the or I don't know what device I want her to have. Um, I'm going to say it's a hormone stimulator. It's to help encourage growth in lab animals.
Okay.
She You could see that she put it down by one of the animals, and you saw that Hargrove had come in. They talked for a little bit. You could tell that it was a friendly conversation, and both of them left.
Okay.
Um, then I'll say about 10 minutes later, the security video blinks, and when it comes back, the device is gone.
Computer, rewind.
Okay, it rewinds.
And I kind of just go through frame by frame to that blink. What are the timestamps? Like how much time is missing?
About 5 minutes.
I grab the timestamp. So I'm assuming there's a camera outside of all the labs.
Yes,
Is
because
it like
there are like 4 auxiliary labs around the main science lab 1.
okay?
So
Is
and then your office.
like,
So Hudson's is right off of the main lab.
okay, I go to the timestamp, focusing on the door to Hudson's.
Okay. You see you do see Lister in the main lab. It looks like she's she's looking up research.
Okay.
Um, you can see that over she's currently let's see the
Yay, maps. No problem. Okay.
And while not completely accurate, that would be the main lab.
Okay. So Lister's in the main lab.
Lister is, well, no, she's actually kind of closer than that. Let's say that there's a console right where this door is.
Okay.
That's where she's at. She's just quietly working away. You notice that the lab Hudson's lab door opens, and then there's another video skip.
What am I saying when the video skip ends?
You can see uh, Lister and Fulmer conversing at the console.
Does Lister have anything in her hands, or Fulmer?
Both of them have pads.
Okay. Computer, can I have a readout of all logins in the science department and I give the time the time between these.
It gives you a readout. Go ahead and give me another insight and security roll.
2 successes.
Okay, that 5-minute gap in the video, there's a 5-minute gap in the logs.
Who logged in right before the gap? Or I guess, no, the better question would be, who logged in before and after?
In Hudson's lab?
Over the entire science department. Someone would have to log in to erase footage, correct?
Yes, but here's the thing. You know for a fact none of your people have the authority to clear logs like that.
I imagine only I would.
You, the captain, Honorin, and Taylor.
And the doctor, because, why not? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I have to agree. The doctor would have access like that. I mean, she is Cardassian.
Okay, well, she's not supposed to have access. Whether she does or not is a completely different story, because Josh also knows of somebody who has access technically, but isn't supposed to.
I know who you mean. So I checked the login data for those names. I'm also keeping a very close eye on attempts that were used to force the system, like multiple misanswered passwords or anything.
Okay, give me an insight and engineering roll, and you do have your talent.
Yay, a free extra dice. I love this talent. And what the fuck?
Wow.
Oh my god!
That went terribly wrong.
Can I burn a determination?
To make another roll?
Yes, because that's awful.
Security, security.
Is there a value you would like to utilize to do it?
The truth is found in skepticism.
Okay, then yes, you could use a determination to make another roll.
Yay.
Fuck.
That is also equally awful, but at least it didn't critically fail.
Okay, so you as you are sifting through the data, I'm gonna say that you come across the data very briefly, but as you do it, it disappears.
Someone is not making this easy on me.
Oh, um, through process of elimination, you know it wasn't the person you're thinking of.
Jay immediately checks who's logged in right now. All active users. Now we're in counter hacking now, boys. Excuse you?
Um, Currently logged into the system is well, Hargrove is in stellar cartography, and Fulmer is in the geology lab, and they're the only few people in the science area so far, or at the moment.
I'm gonna try and pull up some metadata from the login log that I was looking at, and see who last accessed it other than me.
Okay. You know what I'm gonna need.
Same roll.
Uh-huh.
2 successes and a critical fail.
Well, no. Remember, it's not technically considered a critical fail. It's a complication.
Okay, yeah. I still rolled a 1.
I'm just trying to think about what I want the complication to be. Okay, you know what? Right now, there is one more person logged in to the system than you. And you've been able to track the deletions to that login.
Oh.
It's Lieutenant Hartley.
What?
Okay. Jake considers for a moment, thinking this over, as he.
Hardly is sabotaging the science department.
It's all for that prank. She figured it out.
Wait, what was the joke?
She's Lieutenant Hartley is intentionally sabotaging the science department to turn us all against one another. It's for that prank. She wants to make sure that no one can turn her hair pink again.
Oh, Lister can do it again.
Always knew Hartley was a bad egg. Into the cannon.
That's what I'm sitting out of character. I'm like, Frank would run with this, and none of it would go in Darby's favor.
No, it won't.
But in character, she's like, okay, there is no way that Hartley is proficient enough at the computer, at these databases, to actually, force entry and do these deletions.
You realize Hartley's the chief of security. She actually has the authority to do it.
She does, but probably not the inclination.
Wait. Out of character. Are you going off all my screw-ups on the mission, saying I'm not competent?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
In no uncertain
that's
terms.
fair.
No, it really is fair. For once, my screw-ups is taking me out of is doing me a favor.
Unless
It's more-
it was all an elaborate trick. The whole time.
What, spend 4 months trying to lull people into a false sense of security?
Yes.
Speaking
You
of,
have, you have to minimize people's expectations to get away with it.
all he's got to do is say it's got Cardassian on it, put you in a brig, and he can go on that date instead of you.
I doubt it.
Well, first off, he'd have to find out about the date first.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Just admit it,
I guess
Darby. You're the one doing all the sabotaging. It will go easier on you. I'll just recommend court martial and life in prison.
So I guess I'm going to go ahead and find Lieutenant Hartley.
Okay. Okay, shifting focus again. Frank, it's been another hour or so. You're no longer on duty. What are you doing?
Sitting at a console, framing Hartley. I mean, sorry, I couldn't help that. That was just too good. No, she's in her quarters, just relaxing.
Okay. Hmm. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out if there's anything I want to have happen with you.
Just remember, I haven't decided what kind of regiment I'm putting you on.
Um, while you're at your quarters, your innovator goes off.
She puts her book. She places the bookmark in her book and puts it down. Enter.
You see Onivern walk in. He has his hands behind his back. Captain,
Oh, shit.
I take it something serious is happening.
in a manner of speaking, yes. May I come in?
By all means.
So when he comes in, he says, uh, since being assigned to the Tempest, you have dealt with psionic entities, the Breen, the True Way, and you just inadvertently helped overthrow a government. I figure with all of that happening, you could use a drink.
I see. It's highly unusual of you to suggest that.
That's because you don't know me completely, Captain. Don't get me wrong, I am more than happy to be your executive officer. You have given me tremendous leeway, and in return, I'm not so hard nosed about you going on away missions. But if we are going to be functioning as a team, we should know each other better.
Wait, wait.
Shh.
So, in the spirit of trying to build a bridge, I brought you some 2309 blood wine.
Damn it, now I want mine. I'm getting it.
It's poison.
I've heard it's a good year.
I will get some glasses.
There's, but I figured while we are talking, I should ask. I mean, feel free to ask me any questions. I'll ask you any questions for thoughts that you don't have at the forefront of your brain or at the forefront of your mind. I mean, I've read your personnel file. I've gone through Captain Aton's. I've read the encounters with your mother. There are some lovely thoughts. Sorry, I don't mean to.
Don't worry about it.
But do you have any questions for me?
Most captains would think that a first officer being so trusting, letting their captains go on away missions, has ulterior motives. What would you say? She asked that as she's pouring the blood wine.
I would say that in most instances that would be viewed as very unusual, perhaps questionable. I just feel that as long as there is a command officer on the ship, it doesn't matter who goes on the away missions.
Starfleet Command might question your judgment on this.
They very well could. I am not concerned with that. The Tempest hasn't been destroyed. You haven't died. So far, I think I've been doing a stellar job.
Have relocated a planet, though.
Well, that falls on your shoulders, not mine.
No, I think that was on out of character. Was Hartley on that mission?
Actually, it was you, Che, and Matt for a little while, and then Q took Nar and Hartley over.
I think our engineer had a hand in that one, as well as our science officer.
Our science officer certainly seems to be at the center of a lot of it, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
I don't know what you could be implying. I'm innocent. They framed me. I'm not planning a mutiny, I swear.
Speaking of the science staff, sorry to discuss work, but this is important. I think upon getting back to Starbase, we should request new science officers and transfer Lister and Hudson.
She takes a sip of the wine and savors the taste of it because it's good vintage and all.
Yeah, Honoran takes a sip and he goes, "Oh, this is ghastly."
You'll think differently after you've had a few glasses. As far as Lister and Hudson goes, I'll agree that Hudson does need to go. She has logged over 100 complaints, majority of which are faults, mostly against me when I was the executive officer, and some against me since I've been captain.
She's filed complaints against me as well.
So she's not very good for morale and unit cohesion. As far as Lister goes, she's a bit antisocial at times,
All the
but
time.
she does have a lot of great potential, and still I consider her to be a very valuable team player when it comes time for it. She has been there for the entirety of the mission, the ship, and the crew, unlike Hudson.
I'll trust your judgment in this. As I said, I needed to speak my mind, give my recommendation. I also should let you know that uh, several things around the ship have gone missing.
That's what Lister's claimed that Hudson's saying, is that she had stole something from her lab. I've ordered Lieutenant Che to investigate the matter.
Should I have Lieutenant Taylor work with him? Hartley. Sorry, Hartley. I don't know why I thought it was Taylor. Sorry.
It's okay.
No, I think Lieutenant Che can figure it out. Besides, after this, we'll get his input as to which one of the two he wants to keep.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, you know it's Lister. Nepotism still exists in this universe. It's
Okay, so I'm going to say that the rest of the evening is you socializing with the commander. You know, he tells you about Beta Z and any questions that you have about him, his family, whatever. Um, so, Emily,
How many glasses of the blood wine did you drink?
3. Each sip as ghastly as the last.
Hey, he's going to have a hell of a headache.
Um, so, Emily, you make it to the mess hall and see Potek sitting at a table.
Candles on the table. Nobody else is there except for somebody playing a violin.
Excellent. I mean, of course, I'll go and join her.
Hello, Dr. Nar.
Hello. I hope I didn't keep you waiting.
No, I have been here for over an hour. I've been looking over the menu selection of your replicators. This is very interesting.
It's taken me a little getting used to as well, but I have managed to get someone to program a few Cardassian dishes for me, so I can get the taste of home. I'm sure the same can be done for you
Actually, I'm
if
quite
necessary.
interested in trying some of these Cation dishes.
Certainly, I imagine that would be quite interesting, considering the.
However, as you are my guest, why don't we try Cardassian items first? I have the entire time to try everything else on the replicator menu.
That's very nice of you. If you're sure, that would be nice.
I'm very
Though
certain.
I'm also willing to be an adventurous eater. So if you're uncertain, then we can certainly try something else.
Anything that I eat from the replicator is going to be adventurous for me. There are no Farilar dishes within the replicator, and I'm fine with that.
That's a fair assessment.
On the menu, there's a dessert item called the Counselor Troy.
It's it's 27 scoops of chocolate ice cream served in a saucer that's rammed right up against the model of a ship. Or you can serve it crash landed on an upside down bowl.
No, it's just 2 scoops of chocolate ice cream.
Um, so she insists that you surprise her with whatever you're going to get from the Cardassian menu because she doesn't know what any of it is.
All right.
Try some Hosperat.
Hasperat is Bajoran.
We have,
They
we have
ripped that off from
appropriated their culture.
They stole that from the Cardassian.
One of the things that she wants to try is fish juice.
Certainly. We'll definitely get you some of that.
How like a cat.
It's generally served in the morning, but okay.
Wait, is it generally served in the morning? Oh, yes, it is. I just went through a list of Cardassian foods. Nice. Well, if that's something that generally is consumed in the morning, perhaps we should meet for breakfast tomorrow.
I would definitely enjoy that. Yes.
Nar's jaw's on the floor as she's just nodding. Okay. Uh, I'm going to say that you had a pretty decent spread of Cardassian food. Because why not?
Right, why not?
I will say that she pretty much enjoyed most of it. She is not a fan of Kanar.
Of course not.
It
No
is
one is.
it is too syrupy.
It's like 99% maple syrup. I mean, like thick maple syrup, like oil sludge maple syrup.
Actually, I think it was just dark corn syrup. But yeah, pretty much. Um,
It's not unexpected.
I, I um I will say that during your dinner, because throughout all of it, there's still no inclination about whether this is a date or not.
Mhm.
You do notice that Dathan has come in. He's not. He kind of waved at you, but then went to the complete opposite end of the mess hall.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Um, and I'll say that um, she asked a lot of questions about growing up on Cardassia, what it's like now.
Mhm, mhm.
Smoldering ruins.
Right, yes.
um, and you kind of get a little bit of a history lesson about the first and second Exodus.
Mhm.
Um, because I'm thinking that much like with the Vulcans and the Romulans, Cation Cation history about this is kind of not discussed.
It was a great shame.
So you're getting a pretty good insight on what the Faralar believe happened with the Exodus. Um, and you guys have a pretty good dinner and a great long conversation.
I mean, sure. Definitely try to get her to talk about just herself personally a little bit, and of course medicine, because
Oh,
that was.
she will tell you everything about her. That she grew up in one of the outlying enclaves. She joined uh, after the first warp ship was sent out, which is what you encountered. You find out that ship had actually been gone for about 2 years. Uh, in that 2 years, you find out that the ministry, their stranglehold got dramatically worse, and Potec now believes it's because they knew that space exploration would bring the truth.
She talks a lot about like political climate and that. And I understand that is important to her. It's not sounding much like a date.
What's that?
What?
What did you say?
I said she's talking a lot about like political climate and all that. And it's like, okay, well, I understand that is very important to her, but it does not sound much like date talk.
Well, no,
So I think we're leaning toward.
she does talk about herself. She talks about her family, um, and her interest in medicine. And I will say that the conversation kind of runs the whole gamut of topics.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I haven't developed the character completely, so I can't really go into like
No,
personal
that's fair.
details.
I suppose that's fair.
And at some point during the night in the conversation, her hand does lightly brush yours.
But it might have been an accident.
Scandalous.
I will say, however, that you do find out an interesting bit of information in the entire discussion of Potek. She has had both male and female lovers in the past.
So still maybe.
I think it's definitely a love triangle.
Or that's what Jamie is angling for.
Whoa. He wants it to end with us dueling to the death on the holodeck.
For some reason, you both got infected with Ponfar. Okay, so you I'll say the date goes splendidly. You end the night. She walks you to your quarters.
Oh, she walks to my quarters.
Chase, kiss, goodnight.
And then, she walks you to your quarters, and then she goes to hers.
I guess it was on. If it was on the way, then just
So the next morning, as you all are getting ready for duty, Nar, you get a communication, or you hear Shuttle Bay 2 to Nar.
the Dr. Nar.
I think you need to get down here.
I'll be there momentarily.
So, Nar, you get down there. You see that the Shuttle Bay Chief is standing over a body.
A body?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'll go check it out. The question is it a dead body or is it like an unconscious body?
Oh, it's as you scan it, go ahead and give me a control and medicine roll. And you have a focus. Let me see if any of your talents apply. Okay, no talents apply, but you do have a focus, so.
Okie dokie.
Okay. After scanning said body, he is very dead.
Very, very dead. Yes, okay. That's important to note.
And he has.
Do we know who it is?
Yes, the Shuttle Bay Chief says that is Ensign Mathers. He was he was in charge of the shuttle bay overnight, just prepping shuttles in case anything was needed.
Mhm.
Um, and Ensign Mathers has plasma burns over 93% of his body.
Is, is there a ruptured plasma conduit around here?
Um, there is. It was shut off this morning, but the body's at least 10 meters away from where the rupture happened.
And it couldn't have been thrown.
Well, if the plasma rupture was large enough, we would have felt the ship. Uh, we would have felt it throughout the ship.
Right, that's fair. So he's been moved.
Should I call the chief of security?
I think so. This is unusual.
Shuttle Bay 2 to Lieutenant Hartley.
Lieutenant Hartley here.
Please report to Shuttle Bay 2.
On my way.
I'm gonna go. The chief says that he's going to go speak with Lieutenant Commander Jones in engineering to find out if it's possible for what happened to have happened.
It's a good idea. I don't think there's much else I can do here except for handle the body. If there are specific rights or
He's human.
observances that this particular person followed that need to be managed, I'd be happy to do so. And I suppose I'll have to write up a report so that the family can be informed. Was there anyone else in here that might be suffering from burns or anything that I need to look at before we
No,
take care of it?
Ensign Mathers was in charge of Shuttle Bay 2, which honestly wouldn't have been used even if a shuttle was to be prepped, because there's main shuttle bay. It's just we have to keep someone in here overnight.
Understood. Right. Well then. Carry on.
He leaves. A few minutes later, Hartley comes in.
Hello, Doctor.
Hello. Unfortunately, we have a body. The engineer is discussing currently with somebody else, but currently the situation appears to be unusual. There's a damaged plasma conduit, and this person appears to have plasma burns, or well, definitely has plasma burns. But they're quite far away from the conduit, and the engineer is certain that if it were to explode with enough force to send the body this far, we would have known of the rupture before the body was found.
Do you think, in your personal opinion, Doctor, with the way the burns are, do you think, out of character, I'm trying to, sorry, my wording is not good. Um, okay. So we can assume, doctor, that you think the body was moved, and this. Do you think the situation may have been set up?
I'm not at all certain exactly what happened, but it would appear that most likely what happened then was that, yes, the body was moved post-mortem.
Thank you. I'm going to notify the captain immediately of the situation.
Frank.
Captain, this is Hartley.
Go ahead.
I have a situation in Shuttle Bay 2. We have a possible murder on our hands. I'm just apprising you of the situation. I'm gonna continue investigating.
Okay.
Okay, so while you guys are moving the body, Che, you arrive in the
Yes, Che.
lab.
Jimmy, real quick before we
up?
move on the chain, I do post 2 security guards outside the door, to security outside the door, and I let them know no one comes in or out without my express permission.
Okay.
This area is under investigation. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, so you get to the lab, Che.
Yes, Che.
You can see that Hargrove, Lister, and Fulmer are all in the main lab. Fulmer and Lister are over at that center console. It looks like they're discussing more about their project, and Hudson is currently not Hudson. Hargrove is currently going over readouts from your last solar system survey.
Okay.
Lister turns
Lister,
around and she goes, "Good morning, Lieutenant."
good morning. Lister, could I have a moment with you in my office, please?
Of course. She excuses herself from Fulmer, saying to continue with the enrichment ideas for soil.
Don't worry, this shit didn't take long.
Okay, she follows you into your office.
I bring up the file, that 5 minutes of the main lab, where she was working on the console.
Yeah.
So as I investigate more into the whole incident, you and Hudson, I found something highly unusual that I hope you can help me work out.
Well, if I can help, I will.
So I let her see the video and the skip. There's about 5 minutes of footage missing. Did you see anyone during this period enter Hudson's lab?
Honestly, at that point, I was looking into my joint experiment with Ensign Fulmer. I was engrossed in the data because he had come up with a potential super growth, like soil fertilizer, and
And
I heard the door open. I just figured Hudson had left or entered. I don't know which one it was. I just know that I heard the door open.
That the logs have been tampered with is highly perplexing. And the the logs do back up what you say. I have the login data right here. But some equipment did and was removed from Hudson's lab. I'm just trying to figure out who.
I was about to say I know I didn't take it. There's no reason for me to go in there.
And I understand. I'm not accusing anyone at this point. It's just very odd. And I was hoping that maybe someone had seen something.
I know you didn't accuse me, but Hargrove and Hudson are friends. He's been giving me the cold shoulder since he got here. Nothing that requires anything. It's just a little bit more annoying than it normally is. It's just
Consequences.
I accept consequences.
No, he kind of gives just a kind of a rueful smile and go, "There, a bitch."
Well, you would know. You were friends with one for a very long time.
Oh, snap.
Oh. He gives a little wince.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Kind of, sort of.
I'm
Still not entirely.
No, it's not okay. This whole situation is making me treat you like garbage. I apologize. If Chazines was alive, you know I would be meaner to him. But to insult his memories is not acceptable. Especially since you were friends.
Again, I just want to get to the bottom of this. And it's very. It rankles my paranoia a little bit. Because there are not many who could delete log footage.
I wouldn't even know who has that authority.
In this department, me. Over the ship, a handful of individuals.
I highly doubt that you were
Easy.
erasing footage.
I'm just saying, it's easily under the double digits. Anything else would have had to be forced, unauthorized. And quite a few of the names I can scratch off because they were on the they were on the away team. So
The perfect alibi.
either way, do you believe that who was the other person that was talking with her? Too many H names.
Hargrove was talking with Hudson just before they both left in the video. Let me amend that because I just realized that both Hargrove and Hudson left and then the 5-minute gap happened. So I think Lister just said that she figured that Hudson just forgot something.
Yeah, but when the video came back, there wasn't Lister talking with Fulmer?
Yes, they were talking about their experiment at the center console.
If I could delay your work a little further, could you send in Fulmer and I'll ask him the same questions?
Of course. She leaves, and in comes Fulmer. You needed to see me, sir?
It he does the same, just for fairness' sake, he goes through the same thing.
Um,
Including the same question. Did you see anything regarding Hudson's office at this time? Anyone enter, leave?
well, he was in the geology lab for a while. He had come up with some sample ideas or some soil samples for Lister to use. Um, and when he came out, Lister was standing at the workstation. He started talking with her. He didn't notice anything out of the ordinary.
Hmm. All right. That's all I really needed to know. Thank you, Palmer. You're dismissed.
Okay, he leaves.
Okay. And by the way, he did follow the captain's orders and have, with as far as Lister and Hudson, correct?
I figured you did.
Okay, good. Just so we're on the same page on that one. All right. So yeah, let's go find us a Hartley and figure out who stole her password and login credentials.
Okay, so as you were leaving, uh, Hargrove is looking at the data, and he looks up at you and says, "Sir, I haven't. Do you know where Ensign Hudson is?"
Is she not in her lab?
No, her lab is empty.
Computer, locate Ensign Hudson.
Ensign Hudson is in her quarters, Deck 7, Section 25 Beta.
Computer, how long has she been there?
She went into her quarters at 08:30 last night. Oh, sorry, it would be 08:30. It would be I'm sorry, it would be uh 20:30.
Hmm. Perhaps I should send someone to check on her. And so he will.
You're gonna go check on her?
On his way to go find. Actually, yeah, he has the computer. And where is Lieutenant Hartley at this moment? Which we know, Shuttle Bay.
Yeah, Shuttle Bay, which would be Deck 9.
Well, it looks like I'm taking a security trip. So yeah, he'll check on her on the way to go meet Hartley.
Okay. So you get to Hudson's quarters. When you hit the elevator, it goes and you don't hear anything.
He knocks.
Nothing. I will say, since nobody is answering the door, you could always have Hartley come up and open the door for you.
I could. But before he does, he double taps his comm badge. Lieutenant Che to Ensign Hudson. I'm currently at your door.
No response.
Tempest Combat Admin. Lieutenant Che to Security Chief Hartley.
Hartley here. Go ahead, Lieutenant.
I'm currently sitting in front of the room of one of my staff, Ensign Hudson. She's not responsive and did not show up for her shift today.
Interesting.
So
I'm on my way.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So obviously I head up to Lieutenant Che's position in front of Hudson's door.
Okay.
Okay. I I open the door.
Apparently, she is sleeping.
Hang on a second. Wake up.
It's okay. Let him sleep if he's not needed.
Yeah, because we heard you snoring. Okay, so the door opens. The lights are off.
I go ahead and turn on the lights. Just because of the situation, Shuttle Bay 2, I do have my phaser out on stun.
Okay.
And I'm not really saying anything to Lieutenant Che about it. I'm just telling him because of a situation in Shuttle Bay 2, I'll explain later if I can, but stand behind me and let me clear the room first. Okay, I go ahead and I enter the room.
Okay.
Is anything out of the ordinary?
Well, as the lights come on, you see Ensign Hudson.
In what state is Ensign Hudson in that I can see visually? Is she asleep, awake, bullshitting?
Looks like she's asleep.
Oh, shit. Gotta press the button. I look back at Lieutenant J. It's all clear. I think she's just asleep.
I guess I should have asked this earlier. Is this Hudson shift?
Yes, this is Hudson's shift.
Okay. I kind of just assumed. It's probably bad at me. Anyway,
Before Lieutenant Che wakes up Hudson, I in a low voice I ask Lieutenant Che, did Hudson not? Did she not show up for her shift today?
Che said that.
yeah.
Okay.
That's the thing that got you up here is because not only is she late for her shift, she's also non-responsive.
Very well. And has she ever been late for a shift before?
Never.
No.
Interesting. At Hudson's earliest convenience, I would like her to come to my office for questioning.
Well, let's try and wake her up first.
Of course. Also, Lieutenant, and I pull Lieutenant Che to the side. Again, before waking her up, I say, be careful. In Shuttle Bay 2, I believe there's been a murder, so just be careful. And just ensure that your staff stays safe. And I say it in a low voice. Like I said, I'm not really being vocal about it. I don't want to send panic throughout the ship, but I think Lieutenant Che should know.
Thank you, Harvey. And then, yeah, Che's going to go try and wake up Fulmer.
You mean Hudson?
Hudson. Damn it.
All right. So, you, how are you gonna try and wake her up?
Break her nose.
No. He approaches into the room, not too far into the room, takes his prosthetic hand, and knocks on the wall, particularly. Ensign Fulmer, you are late for your shift.
Hudson.
Hudson. Why do I keep getting that wrong? I don't know.
I don't know.
I blame the wine.
Well, you knock rather loud and nothing.
Okay, you are either like a stone dead sleeper. So yeah, he's going to go attempt to give her a little shoulder shake.
All right. So you're shaking. You are shaking her. Go ahead and give me insight and security roll, please. Darby, you can too.
Okay, I was about to say, well, there's another complaint for the captain's desk.
She's an asshole. He broke into my room and sexually harassed me. There goes my reputation.
There you go. You said insight and what else?
Security.
Success and a complication.
Two
Okay.
successes.
Okay, so Darby, as Che has reached down and is starting to shake her, you can see that her skin is a little ashen.
Hold up, Lieutenant.
Well, hang on. And you can see that she has been crying at least. Josh, when you shake her, you hear a snap.
Oh shit.
Wait, you said snap, Jimmy?
Yeah, as if a bone broke.
I immediately tap on my comm badge. Hartley to Nar to Ensign Hudson's room immediately.
Che takes a step back and holds up his hand.
Understood. I'm on my way. I think at this point I'm gonna call contact Protect and be like, I don't think I'm gonna make our breakfast.
Do you need any
While
help?
she does,
Certainly, actually. We could probably I could use another set of eyes, maybe.
I'm
I'm
on my
not
way.
actually sure what we're dealing with, but it couldn't hurt.
Where do I need to go?
Tell her where the
Something beta. Deck
Right.
something beta.
Deck 7, Section 25 Beta.
That one.
While she's doing that, I also tapped on my comm badge and had a security guard posted outside of Hudson's room.
Okay.
And with instructions, no one in or out except for medical staff at this point. Or without my...
Okay.
Obviously, the captain can come in and out all he wants.
She.
Yeah.
All right. So, Nar, you get to the quarters, and you can see that Ensign Hudson is sitting in a chair, but it looks kind of like she fell asleep in the chair.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And you said she looked ashen, and does anyone tell me anything else?
Go ahead and give me an insight and medicine roll. Let me see if you get a focus. Yes.
Okie dokie then. Damn.
Yep. And Annie Oakley's back.
I medicine the shit out of her.
Okay. Oh yeah, she did.
She's dead.
Well, I would say that she looks extremely pale, but I'm not, because my mind isn't aware of what decomposing African American people look like. I figured ashen would be the best descriptor.
Ah. You could have said bloodless, and I would have
Oh,
gotten
okay.
there.
Bloodless. Okay. Sorry. Like I said, I don't know.
That's fine. Okay. Now, okay. Yes, she's dead. What else does the scan tell me?
The scan informs you that she was poisoned.
Huh.
As a matter of fact, there's still bits and pieces of what poisoned her in her mouth.
I'm gonna go ahead and take some samples then.
Okay.
At first, I thought the guard might be a little overkill, but good job, Hartley.
Doctor, I'm just...
poison.
Is there a way you can get a sample?
Well, the tricorder has easily identified what the instrument of poison was.
I'm gonna go ahead and ask, Doc, do you know what poison was used?
Yes. What was used, Jimmy?
Telonian larkspur.
Telonian larkspur.
Out of character, I'm assuming my my character would... Is that a common one? Uncommon? What does it do? I'm sure the doctor could tell me.
Well, Telonian larkspur is a flower.
Is a what?
It's a flower. The debris that Nar pulled out of the mouth were vibrant purple blossoms.
Oh. I'm going to go ahead and assume, because of Shuttle Bay 2, that this was not self-inflicted.
Actually, that is a good question. Are there signs that she was force-fed?
Okay. Would you like to use the one extra success you had to ask the additional question?
Certainly.
Okay, then I'm gonna take away the momentum. Okay. Um, you can tell that the flowers themselves would have had to have been completely ingested in order to poison her. What you did find was that there was also an injection site on her neck.
All right. This is someone clearly wanted us to know that it was Telonian Larkspur.
So someone is trying to flame someone.
This is the second murder we have found so far.
Josh, give me a reason in science.
I was about to say, Telonian Larkspur sounds familiar.
There's no indication that what happened in the shuttle bay is definitively a murder, just that the body was moved after whatever.
I got one success.
You know that the experiment that Lister was using involved Telonian Larkspur.
It actually sounds very familiar. I know the lamp it came from.
I look at Lieutenant Che and I say, curious, what lab did it come from?
Our botany lab. It's being grown in one of our experiments. But that also makes it highly odd. Was it also part of the Jimmy, out of character? Was it also part of the experiment that was destroyed?
Part of it was, yes.
Most of the specimens were recently destroyed.
And
in
you
addition to that,
and you also know that there is no way any replicator will replicate.
our replicators won't replicate it, and the person with access to that lab has been confined to quarters all night.
Okay. Lieutenant Che, I'm. This means I'm gonna have to go over your lab's video feeds. If you're okay with this, keep this. I
You're
ask that
welcome
you
to
keep.
You're
Say
welcome
again.
to come down and do it with me because I've been going over our video feeds as well.
Oh, is it over the Lister and Hudson situation?
Yes, in fact, this leads to something I needed to talk with you about.
Okay.
Though, since you do believe the shuttle bay may have been murder, and I'm not ruling that out either, of course, you may want to also look into how these two officers might be related, or might be linked.
Well, while I don't know the details, I know that there was a situation between Hudson and Lister, but I don't know between out of character, what's his name in Shuttle Bay 2. I don't know the link between Mathers and Hudson. Lieutenant Shea, did Hudson ever mention an engineer named Mathers? Maybe in one of her complaints, or
That draws a small sigh from Che. In all likelihood, potentially.
um, um, out of respect, Lieutenant Che, I trust you. Out of respect for you and your department, would you like to handle the science lab, just so we don't spread panic?
I'll handle my team. Yes.
Okay. If you find anything interesting in the video feed, I do want to look over who's been going into this room. Do you know when Ensign Hudson checked into her room last night?
Yes. I forgot the time, Jimmy.
8:30
Yes.
p.m. Okay. I'm going to have to go over that in video camera feed.
Whoops, I forgot. I didn't have my talk button down, but I know you guys can hear me. But yeah, I just reminded Darby that it was 130 hours.
Okay. I'm sorry this happened to you, to your department.
I was thinking this was going to turn into a simple incident of internal affairs. Apparently, it's turned into a conspiracy.
Yes. Doc, just again, I'm gonna ask that you keep this a little quiet, just so one, we don't spread panic, and two, whoever's doing this doesn't know what we know.
She's just gonna stare at him for a minute, or stare at Hartley for a minute.
At this point, Potek shows up.
Out of character, Hotek?
Potek.
What?
Okay.
Oh.
Well, if there's anything else that needs to be done, I can definitely let her do it, or
If you want, Doc, if you can, if you want to take it back to the lab and further examine the body. Out of character, has she gotten everything she can out of the actually no. Doc, if you could take both Ensign Hudson and Mathers from Shuttle Bay 2 and if you want, you can to do a comparison. Maybe there's some sort of similarity that the two are connected with that we can't see on the outside. I hate to ask, but if you don't mind.
I can certainly try to do some deeper scans, certainly, but
because I'm pretty sure, as much as Hudson wouldn't, I'm pretty sure she didn't just allow this to happen. Either the person doing this was waiting for her inside, or he came in after.
as I said, I can certainly see if there are anything more to glean from the bodies with a deeper scan.
Thank you. I need to go to engineering and see if anyone had it out for Matthews. With all due respect, I'd ask you, Lieutenant Shea, but Lieutenant Hudson was Ensign Hudson wasn't well liked.
Shay's actually got his tricorder out. He's gonna scan the room. Hudson was human, correct?
Yes, she was.
He is scanning for any non-biological, any biological non-human material in the room.
Give me a control and science roll, please.
Yay!
After he's done, while he's doing that, I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna wait for him to.
2 successes.
Okay. There are 4 other biosigns, or not biosigns, but remnants of species.
Okay.
There's a Vulcan. There's another human that isn't, it doesn't match his Hudson's biology.
Okay.
Cryon. And Bravari Ma.
Bravari what?
That would be the same species that the Helm Officer Sovaton is part of.
Got it.
There are currently 2 Bravari Ma on the Tempest. They're both exchange officers.
How many Vulcans do we have?
Like 5?
Hey Jimmy, can you spell the Kari Ma thing for me? I'm making
BRI. Well, hang on. BRIVARI apostrophe capital MAH.
Okay, so BR.
You cut out.
Sorry, so what was after the I?
V.
I was just type it in chat.
Thank you. Yeah, that would be easy.
Actually, if you want to, look up Sovaton's character sheet. It's in the NPC senior staff.
Or that.
Can the tricorder locate the sources of these traces?
I mean, like, identify who they were?
Not who they were, like, where are these? Like, hairs, finger oils.
Well, there are
You don't want to know.
there are finger oils and some hair from the human at the dining room table.
Okay.
You found some. The best way to describe it would be like bark flakes. That is Bravari Ma.
Okay.
The cryon is probably mostly focused on the couch and the dining room table. And then the Vulcan is just at the couch.
I'm playing this like a detective. Let's gather evidence of identity, people.
Well, you're fairly certain you could easily identify the Bravari Maw and the Cryon.
Yes, I imagine we can gather up all of these, stun them with Narge, you can run a genetic scan and tell us exactly who these are. Which is what Chase going.
Well, considering there's only one Cryon on board.
That's true. Still, it gives us leads of who was in this room.
While he was doing that, I did ask the computer if anyone entered the room after Ensign Hudson came in, up until I entered the room.
Negative.
Did anyone enter the room before Hudson entered her room?
Negative.
Well, that's interesting.
Yes, either Hudson was attacked by a ghost.
Actually, you know what? Let me rephrase. Let me go back and change what I said. Would you ask if anybody came in before Hudson entered her quarters? It informs you that that information is restricted to security level 8 or above.
I'm assuming I have that security level.
Yes.
But we don't, so you're going to have to pursue it on your own with us not in the room. I'm assuming. That's probably
No, I would just be able to. It would read my security level, wouldn't it?
You'd have to give your access code.
Is there anyone in the room that's not senior staff?
Protect.
Potek.
I look at Hotek.
Potek.
Hotek.
Potek.
Kotek.
P-O-T.
Kotek.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, it's K-O-T.
P-O-T-E-C-H.
Oh, P. Potek.
Potek.
Okay.
She's right there.
Yeah.
In the character tabs.
Yeah, that's true. I look at Potek. I ask if Potek, would you mind leaving the room for a second?
Okay. She leaves.
I give my security authorization.
Lisa Hartley is cool. 2041.
Okay, so you so you enter your access code. Were you going to ask again?
Same question.
That information is unavailable.
Computer. This
was a colossal waste of time.
Computer, this is the Chief of Security Hartley. I have level 8 and above security clearance.
Hartley. What I was going to talk with you about is there any way that your security clearance and login have been compromised? Because in my investigation between the Hudson and Lister incident, I've discovered that our logs and video files have been tampered with. And the only and the only login I could find that accessed with the amount of clearance required at the times when these alterations were made was yours.
That's impossible. I would have had no reason to do that.
I know you wouldn't have.
And I would never have done anything like that without the captain's orders.
And in all likelihood, you were on the planet with me during the away mission when this all happened. So, that means someone had to have authorized...
Taken my...
Mhm.
Who would have had access to my codes? Did the entry look forced?
That I couldn't tell.
While I continue the investigation here, would you mind I'm trying to think. Would he, Jimmy, would he be able to bring that data of him finding my name and everything over to my office and the security thing?
Yes.
Okay. Later on today we can schedule time, but would you mind coming by my office with that data and we can look over it together?
Of course.
Since you've already gone through it, you can show them, you can make it go quicker. You can speed things up a bit.
Okay. At this point, Che, your comm badge chirps, and you hear Lister to Che.
Yes, Lister.
I need you to report to my lab. There is a problem.
I can already guess what it is. Che out.
Lieutenant, would you mind if I joined you?
No, of course not.
Okay. Oh, and Lieutenant Che,
Yes.
I don't know what the incident amount between Hudson and Lister was earlier, but I have highly doubts Lister would do such a thing.
I do too. I mean, as far as I understand, Lister wouldn't have reason to do this.
Okay. I trust that you handled the situation then inside your department.
It's ongoing.
Okay. With this going on, I'll just if you come up with anything that pertains to my current investigation, just let me know.
I shall. Now, let's go find out that some flowers have been stolen.
Right behind you.
So we head down to Lister's office.
Okay, so Nar,
Or
while
Lister's
they leave, what are you gonna do?
Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and take Perfect down to sick bay and have them transport transport the bodies in. And I will go ahead and use the equipment for deeper scans, so I don't really expect to find much.
Out of character, I don't expect you to either, but in this situation, I think it's best to be thorough.
Okay, so you, Che and Hartley, you get down to the botany lab, and Lister looks pissed.
Well,
Somebody has messed with my flowers. And I bet you 10 to 1 it was Hudson, because this larkspur right here was grown using an enhanced method, which I think was her growth, which was her that stupid growth machine that she has.
Lister. Hudson is dead.
You just see the wind leave her sails. What do you mean she's dead?
Dead. She is... I just found her in her quarters. And someone attempted to make it look like she'd been poisoned by larkspur. That's what I meant. when I said I could bet I knew what was going on. She was injected with something and then force fed Larkspur.
At this point, Lister leans up against the console and she says, "You know, if this is payback for the Jazine's remark, I do apologize."
No, I wouldn't joke about that or this. It's confirmable.
I pipe up. I pipe up. It's true. We just got done with investigating her room when you chirped on the comm badge, which is why because of that situation, which is why I followed Lieutenant Che, just to ensure everything was okay.
We need to tell the doctor that there could be more poisonings.
How many flowers have been taken?
The one plant held 20 flowers. There was enough there that could have carried my experiment for 2 months.
Has anyone accessed your lab other than you?
I can't verify for any time that I was off duty. I was in my quarters.
She pulls out his tricorder and does a similar scan to what he did up in Hudson's room on the flower bed.
There's a litany of like skin cells and stuff, because you have to think. I know that I only highlight Lister, but she's not the only botanist on the ship.
Okay, so there might be no way to tell who could take in these flowers.
Right.
Yeah, because she's cheap botanist, basically.
Lieutenant Che, is there any way to narrow your scan to the DNA we found in Hudson's room?
That's going, considering one of the DNA samples we found was human, and most of the crew is human. That's not going to be very narrowing.
Well, there was also, while it may mostly be human, we can check the body staff in line with the other DNA samples we found. If it's just human, then it won't tell us anything. But if we find a Cryon, Brevarima, or Vulcan, that might give us some insight, especially if none of the species match the botany area.
All right, let's see if we can eliminate some suspects.
Lister says, "I can almost guarantee you that the only human that has been in Hudson's quarters besides her was Hargrove." Remember, she wasn't very well liked.
Well, still, that.
At this point, Lister looks at you, Hartley, and says, "In the meantime, I think you should confine me to my quarters."
Lister, with all due respect, I personally, out of character, when this was done, wasn't Lister in a holding cell out of character?
No, she was in her quarters. Both her and Hudson were restricted to their quarters.
Yeah, that's what Shay said earlier. But yeah, they were both confined to quarters.
Look, I believe you that you both think I didn't do this. But there are 240
I
people on board that know that I struck her yesterday.
do you think for your safety it would be better if you were confined to quarters? I personally do not think you did this. You and Hudson may have had a bit of a spat, but that doesn't mean you. I don't think you would result to killing somebody.
No, but considering what was used to kill her, I would imagine that it's going to fall on me.
Lieutenant Jay, I hate to tell you, but I have to agree with her assessment. I, as a security chief, I have to treat everybody fairly in this regard, which is why I think Lister's right about this. If I don't confine her to quarters, somebody on the ship may lash out.
This is true. Even though Occam's razor eliminates her as a suspect for now, it might
However,
be safer confined to quarters.
Ensign Lister, I will.
Crewman, she's not an ensign.
Oh,
She's not an
that's
officer.
right. However, crewman, while you are confined to quarters, for your safety, we are keeping this quiet,
I understand.
as well as I've already used my security guards a lot today. However, out of character, would and this is just a question, just because I'm still learning security procedures in Starfleet a little bit. Whenever in the episodes, whenever a situation like this happens, when they feel like someone's in danger, they always put a security guard outside the door. However, I've already done that to 2 areas. Would it be wise for me to do it with Lister's room as well, considering she is a crewman, she bunks with other people?
Well, you can place security outside of her quarters, and you can always temporarily place her bunkmate into other quarters.
I do have authority to do that. Just to play it safe, I am going to do that. I look at a crewman Lister. Crewman Lister, I'm going to temporarily place your bunkmate in other quarters. And again, while I don't think you do this, I think this is better for your personal safety. Rumors can spread around quick, and what may seem like something simple to us can escalate quickly through a ship of this size. I'm also going to assign you a security officer outside your quarters. I apologize for this.
It was my idea.
In the meantime, security officer, if I may make a request.
Oh, go ahead.
If anyone asks, simply say that this confinement to quarters is temporary as a punitive measure for the incident of breaking Hudson's nose.
You know what? That's a really good idea, Lieutenant. I'm definitely going to go. We'll definitely do that. That was a great idea. Because I was actually just thinking about how I'm going to explain this away.
It also helps us keep things calm while by explaining Hudson's absences.
True. Crewman Lister, if there's anything you need or you require, just let one of us know, or our security officer can escort you to, if you need to eat. Well, out of character, they have replicators. If there's anything you need, just feel free to ask one of us.
I will. Just please solve this quickly.
Oh, I plan to. Um. Crewman Lister, I do want to ask you this question before we get everything squared away. Have you been seeing anyone unusual coming in and out of this lab? Even before you noticed well, more so on the day of the incident. Did anyone, even if it's one of maybe it's somebody you recognize, but they're acting differently, did you notice anything unusual?
No, like I told Shay, I I saw Hudson and Hargrove leave their lab. I went back to my duties, and then I heard her lab door open again, and I figured she just forgot something. I
Okay,
didn't look back up.
I understand. Um, I'm leaving Che's investigation to his investigation, just out of respect for him and his department. I trust Che will be honest with me and let me know if there's anything that pertains to my current investigation. But I promise you I will make this as quick as possible. However, I do need to be thorough. Lieutenant Che, I'm going to go back to Shuttle Bay 2 and continue my investigation on the Matthews incident.
And I will work on things here.
Yes. If there's anything you can think of or any questions or anything you feel that I need to know, definitely let me know. And I will do the and I'll do the same for both you and the doctor.
Okay, so where is Hartley going after this?
I'm going to get an engineer up to Shuttle Bay 2. I'm letting my security officers know that I'm having an engineer meet me at Shuttle Bay 2. And I want him to do a thorough check of the plasma conduit. See how I want to know how the conduit exploded.
Okay, so as you are heading down to Shuttle Bay 2, you've turned through some corridors, and instead of coming up to the doors to Shuttle Bay 2, you find yourself right outside the mess hall.
So I go into the elevator.
The turbolift?
The turbo lift, I take it up to the proper floor, and I go the correct way I normally do, but instead I find the mess hall instead of Shuttle Bay door 2.
Okay, so you enter the turbolift, you tell it to go down to deck 9, where Shuttle Bay 2 is. When you step out, you are on engineering, or you are in engineering.
Oh, okay. So you said mess hall.
Yes, you're at the mess hall, which is on deck 2. Or was it on deck 5? I can't remember.
I don't know. So I'm at the mess hall instead of where I wanted to go.
Yes.
Wait, is the turbolift connected to the mess hall?
You arrived just outside. Well, no, and you didn't arrive through to the mess hall through the turbolift. You were walking through the corridors towards Shuttle Bay 2. You turned a corner and you were at the door of the mess hall. So you went into the turbolift, told it to go to deck 9, and now you are on deck 12, main engineering.
Wow. So I'm just going to go ahead and head to main engineering.
Well, main engineering has a turbolift access right there, so the door opens into main engineering.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to I'm gonna talk to one of the engineers and say, I had told the just to let you know, I told the elevator to deck 9. Wait, I was going to deck 9 for shuttle bay 2, and it took me to main engineering.
Yep.
Okay, just to make sure I got everything correct in my brain. I said, so I wanted to go to shuttle bay 2 and deck 9, and the elevator took me to main engineering. Just to let you know.
We'll take a look at the turbolift system.
Out of character, is there another turbolift?
There's multiple turbolifts.
I'm
Not
going
in
to take
not in main engineering, but there's throughout the ship there are multiple turbolifts.
Okay. I go ahead and let them know. The engineer I had that I requested in shuttle bay 2. Go ahead and let him know I'm going to be a few minutes late.
He understands.
Okay, and I'm going to take another turbo lift. So I go to another turbo lift and make the same request.
Okay, so starts moving. The doors open. You're on deck 18.
I hate you, Jimmy. You can't make this easy for me, can you?
Nope.
What's on deck 18?
That would be the plasma power transfer system controls.
So I'm by myself.
No, there's a few engineers down there.
I look at the few engineers. I'm letting them know, be careful when using the turbo lift. Is there a...
One of them looks at you and goes, I just came off the turbo lift. It was fine.
I requested deck 9. And really, I tap on my comm badge.
Okay.
Hartley DeChe. Tap again.
Hang on. He went AFK.
Oh, okay.
You know what? How about we do this? Frank's asleep. Josh is AFK. We've hit the 3-hour mark. Why don't we go end this session here for tonight? And we can get back together next week to continue Darby's misadventures with the ship.
Whoa, misadventures.
Hey, you know what? You may call this a misadventure, but this is a bonding experience between Hartley and Che.
So,
Wink,
okay, Josh is back.
Yes.
We're gonna
I've
leave
been
it.
doing this silly.
We're going to be pulling it to be continued.
Okay.
Oh, were you here to what was happening to me?
You got dropped down the elevator shaft like a good boy?
Almost. I've been trying to go back to deck 9, shuttle bay 2, and 2 different elevators have taken me to 2 different floors, and yet one of them says he had just used it and it was fine.
We got gremlins, people. Gremlins.
Okay,
I was-
so yeah, we'll continue this next Saturday unless unforeseen circumstances show up. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good
Hey,
night.
everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Okay, so until next Saturday.